Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Yari Hearts Books. I'm Yari, and in today's video we're gonna be talking about what I've been reading so far this year. It's currently April, almost May. It's April 26th, and I just hop right into it. I'm gonna talk about the books that I've finished. I'm gonna talk about what books I'm currently reading, what books I'm currently in the middle of, and I'm gonna be talking about one DNF. So let's do this. Okay, I'm just gonna start off with the books that I've read. So starting off the year, I'm just gonna talk about these two books together because they're part of a series. So I reread Forging Silver into Stars by Bridget Kemmerer. Then I read the sequel, Carving Shadows into Gold. Basically, this book came out January 28th of this year. And this book, the first book, came out a few years ago, and I read it like pretty much when it came out, so I don't remember much about what happened in this book, so I had to refresh my memory so before I picked this one up. So if you don't know, Forging Silver into Stars, it's basically a spin-off series of her Curse Breakers trilogy, being A Curse Dark and Lonely, A Heart So Fierce and Broken, and A Vow So Bold and Deadly, that series. And we basically follow one of the side characters from that series, Tycho. We follow him, and this is 5 years after the events of the Curse Breaker trilogy. So we follow Jax, who was I think like 16 in the original series. One of the issues is that, how do I explain this without spoiling anything for the Curse Breakers series? Basically, the people in this world are not happy with the current ruling monarch, I guess is the best way to say it. So there's a bit of rebellion. Yeah, I think that's all I'll say, because I don't want to spoil anything for the Curse Breakers series. But we do also, if you've read it, we do see characters from that series, so you get to see like what they've been up to. And then we also follow a new character named Callan, as well as a new character named Jax. They live in this small town, and Tycho ends up befriending these people, and by befriending one of them, they become very friendly. Let's just say that. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that. Hopefully it made a little bit of sense, but I'll also link all the Goodreads links so you can see like a full description of the book, a synopsis of the book, because I feel like I don't do a great job at explaining synopsis. But what did I rate this the first time? Okay, so when I first read this, I rated this 4 stars. I still enjoyed it the second time around. So, and then obviously I can't go into much detail about Carving Shadows into Gold because it's the second book of a series, but I also rated this 4 stars. I really like Bridget Kemmerer's writing, so I've been enjoying this series, and I'm excited for the next book to come out, which I think it'll be the finale, because I think it's only 3 books. I think it's a trilogy, so I'm excited for whenever that comes out. Okay, I'm actually not going to talk about the DNF, because the next book I read after this, I feel like I have some comparisons to make with them. Okay, so the DNF book, The Book Proposal by KJ McShee. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I DNF'd at page 120. So basically, the synopsis sounded so good. I was so excited to read this. I just picked this up. I was in Barnes & Noble. I saw the spine of this book, then I looked at the cover, and then I read the synopsis, and I was like, this sounds so good. So I bought it without reading any kind of reviews or anything. Wish I had now. Because basically what the synopsis is the main character, Gracie, she's a writer, and she has writer's block. and something happens where she ends up like communicating with a guy from, I think from high school, that she had a crush on. And they start talking. He tells her about his breakup, and then she thinks like, oh, this is a really good idea for a book. So she takes like inspiration of his story for her book. But then I think it gets complicated because they are starting to develop feelings for each other, but she's technically writing this book about him. So yeah, it sounded so good. But 120 pages in, there was so much like potty humor that I couldn't get over it. They like 120 pages and there was like talk about her going to the bathroom like 3 times in like a short period of time, and I'm like, this is too much. Also, it was like really like slow pace. Like again, 120 pages in, and the 2 characters haven't met up in person yet. They have been exchanging some emails back and forth, which if I can remember, they were alright. Like the conversations they were having over email, some of them were funny, but nothing too deep. At the point where I stopped was when they were about to, she was getting ready to go meet up with him. That's when I decided to look at the reviews, and yeah, people were talking about the potty humor, how they also couldn't get over it. And then they said that the characters pretty much only met up like the one time. I don't know, obviously because they nabbed it, I don't know how true that is, but yeah, I did read that there wasn't like a lot of like face-to-face interaction between the 2 main characters, which I'm like, that's weird if this is a romance. Which it was in the romance section. So they also just didn't like, other people just didn't like the relationship that the 2 characters had. They thought it, I'm trying to remember now what they said, because I know that they were like that the ending didn't, I think the ending, they said that, from what I read, they said that the ending was rushed and it didn't make sense. So yeah, I was like, that doesn't seem like a fun time. So that's when I decided to DNF this, which is so sad. If you have read this, if you've read the whole thing, let me know what your thoughts were, and also if the potty humor got to you, because I didn't think it would, but I'm just like, why does this keep being mentioned? And it's not like one incident mentioned multiple times. It was like different types of mentions of going to the bathroom, and I'm like, why are we doing this? Anyways, that was the DNF. And the reason why I want to talk about the DNF is because the next book I read after that, because I read that in February, I was reading that in February because romance, Valentine's Day, the month of romance. So then I decided to pick up Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. And okay, let's start off here. I ended up giving this 3 stars. I think it's a 3.5. Overall, I really enjoyed it, but hold on, I'll circle back to that. Okay, so the reason why I want to talk about the DNF first is because I'm gonna talk about one of the positives of this book first. That was a negative in the book proposal. So our main character, Bree, and yes, Jacob, they, first off, when they first like meet each other, they have like bad first impressions. And one of the things that ends up happening is that they keep exchanging notes back and forth, and that's how they started to develop a friendship at first. And I felt like those like little letters and like how their friendship started to develop through those letters was very well done, versus how the communication of the emails going back and forth between these two characters did nothing. I'll leave it at that. So yeah, so that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about this book, was the whole notes communication going back and forth. I thought it was really cute. I thought, like, yeah, it helped develop their friendship really well, and then eventually develop into a romantic relationship. But what I would say, what brought my rating down for this book, it was the lack of communication. I felt like for characters that are in the 30s, that they would have better communication, but apparently not. But again, I am also in my 30s, so I'm like, would I have, if I was trying to develop a relationship with a guy, would I have this bad of communication? I think, now that I'm starting to think about it a little bit more, I don't think it would be this bad. I would probably be uncomfortable, like, bringing something up, but I feel like at this point in my life, I would just, like, say it, you know? Yeah, the lack of communication in this, it just wasn't doing it for me. And that is what brought the rating down. If they had better communication, I would have rated it higher. But overall, like I said, I really enjoyed it. I loved the characters. I loved the little bit that we got to see, because this is a companion to Part of Your World, so we see a bit of those characters in this book, and I liked seeing, like, where they were at in their lives by this point. And yeah, and the new characters that we met, like Grandpa. Yo, Grandpa had me rolling. Like, he was too much. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. It was just that lack of communication that really brought down the rating for me. But yeah, yours truly. Oh, I forgot to mention what this is about. So they're two doctors, Brianna and Jacob. They both work in the emergency room. Bri is coming up on a promotion, but then since Jacob transferred from a different hospital, and he was the department head, I forgot what it was called. The current department head was like, oh, I want to consider also Jacob for the position. So now they were both in the running for that job. So that's one of the reasons why Brianna did not like Jacob in the first. That's like the little, like, how they were brought into each other's lives. Let's just say that. So yeah. Oh. And then Jacob is going to, once they start, like, exchanging communications and they start to develop a friendship, Jacob ends up doing this really big favor for Brianna, and then they start, like, talking to each other more, like, seeing each other more, and then, you know, things progress from there. And that makes any kind of sense. Yeah, so there's that. Then the next book I read, Poison in Their Hearts by Laura Sebastian, the last book in the Castle in Their Bones trilogy. I ended up rating this book 3 stars. I think it's on 3.5. Like, I overall enjoyed it. Towards the end, I did start to lose, like, steam a little bit of my enjoyment, but overall I really liked it. It was a good conclusion to the trilogy, which, if you don't know, the first book, Castle in Their Bones, it's about triplet princesses, and basically in this world they're divided into 4 countries, and they are the princesses of one country, and then their mother is the empress, and each of the princesses are betrothed to a prince or king of one of the other countries. So basically the mom's plan is to basically raise them, the 3 princesses, to go in, marry this king slash princess and get intel about each of the countries, take it back to the mother so that she can take down each of those countries and then be able to be empress of all 4 countries. So that's like the beginning. That's what their plan is. That's what they're planning to do. But then things to be revealed, things start to happen and things take a turn for the worse. Let's just say that. And yeah, so that's what like the first book is about. I really loved the first book. The second book, it took a dip. Didn't really enjoy that much. Like the beginning was really good and the ending I was just like overall I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a good conclusion, and I liked towards the end how they brought back this one character sort of to like finish things off. Let's just leave it at that. But yeah, 3.5 stars. Okay, then the last book that I've read so far this year that I've actually finished, A Sword in Slumber by Sarah Rosh. This is the 4th book in the Queen's Counsel series. They're standalones, so you don't have to read them in order, but I've been reading them as they've been coming out. And honestly, at the moment, I don't know if there's a 5th one coming out because I haven't seen any news about it. But yeah, this is the 4th book in the Queen's Counsel series. So in this book, we are following Princess Aurora. And let me tell you, first off, I rated this 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. I loved Aurora and Philip's relationship in this. Their little flirtation was so good. It was so cute. Yeah, I really loved their relationship. And then I also just enjoyed the mental health representation that was in this book, because Philip has been through a lot. Like, even though this book is about Aurora, like, he is not doing okay. He is not well. And I just liked how Sarah incorporated that mental health representation, which was PTSD, because it all makes sense that he has PTSD. And Aurora also has her own issues that she's going through, but I feel like Philip's was a bit more hardcore in the terms of how mentally he was not doing okay. So synopsis. So basically, certain things happen and Aurora now has to go into this competition to try to become empress. So basically, I think like in the like whatever country this is, there are like smaller like kingdoms, and then there is an emperor that is like above all the different kings of like the different like little kingdoms / queendoms. And so yeah, so the current emperor died, so they need to elect a new one, and that's the only position that is not inherited. It's a position that someone has to be elected. So now she is trying to become empress, because it's kind of like important that she does, because she has an enemy, and this enemy, if they become empress, it would not be good for anyone. So that's one of the reasons why she's trying to become empress. So yeah, we follow her journey to try obtain this position. Oh, so yeah, the Queen's Counsel, that's the one thing from this book series that is consistent, obviously, because the name of the series is called the Queen's Counsel. So basically, the Queen's Counsel, it is a character that forms, or an entity that forms in whatever way the princess in that book needs them in. So it's like an actual character in like one book. It is I don't even know how to describe it, because it could be a character, it could just be like a thing. It's the best way I could describe it. So it just shows up in whatever form that will best benefit the princess to help them in their journey that they're on. Yeah, that's A Sword in Slumber. Really enjoyed it. Like I said, liked the mental health representation. Really loved the friendship, the flirtation, the relationship between Aurora and Philip, because I feel like Disney movies, one of the main plots, like Disney princess movies, one of the, not the main plots, but like a pretty big part of the plot is some sort of romance. There is like a overarching plot, but there is like a plot, a subplot of romance. And I feel like the other books in this series, they haven't really touched a lot on the relationship aspects of each of the princesses. So the first three books, like between Mulan and Shang, Jasmine and Aladdin, Belle and the Beast, which I think his name is Leo in this world. And no, his name is not Adam as the prince. That was never said by any of the actual like Disney employees that worked in the movie. They forgot to name him. Fun fact, they forgot to name him. His name is not Adam. That was just a rumor that spread very far. Anyways, but yeah, all the other books, they didn't really focus on the like the relationship aspect. So I really did like that in this book. That was a bit more, not the forefront, but that was touched on more, because you want the romance. I don't know about you, but I want a little bit of romance, and this gave that to me, and I appreciate Sarah for giving that to me. So yep, I think that is all on, that's all the books that I've read so far this year. I'm 7 books behind schedule on my reading goal. So, and one of the reasons why that is, because let's talk about some books that I'm currently reading. 2 of them which, girl, okay, the first book, What Once Was Mine by Liz Broswell. I'm currently on page 211. It's part of the Twisted Tale series, and I'm starting to not really enjoy this. Girl, boy, they, in the beginning was really liking it, and then I just like fell off. I'm just like, I started not to enjoy it as much. I don't know what it is. I think I'm just like not really enjoying like the series anymore. I don't know, but basically this is the twist in this is, what if Rapunzel's mother drank a potion from the wrong flower? So instead of drinking from what's it called, the sun drop flower, it was actually moon flower that she drank. I think that's what it is. So yeah, so that's the plot twist. I think this book is too long. I think that's one issue. It's taking a while to get things going. Not really enjoying it anymore. I was enjoying it in the beginning, not really enjoying it anymore. I don't know, but I do still want to finish it. When am I gonna finish this? I don't know. It might take me the rest of the year to finish this. We'll see what happens. Another book that I'm in the middle of, King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard. This is the 3rd book in the Red Queen series, and basically I'm rereading this. So I was filming a spoiler reading vlog, and I'm on page 378. The first time I read the series, this is my favorite book in the series, and then now I don't know what it is. Maybe I just picked it up at the wrong time. I'm like not really enjoying it as much. Like all the lines that I really liked the first time I read this are still hitting, but like plot wise I'm not really loving it, to be honest. So, and I'm listening to the audiobook and from Libby, which has gone back to the library. I don't have it anymore, so I have to wait for it again. So we'll see when I pick this back up again. If you don't know, the first book, Red Queen, it is set in this world where everyone's divided by blood. You either have red blood or silver blood. If you are a red blood, you're normal. You are like, you work for like the higher ups. And then if you have silver blood, you have magical abilities, and you most likely are some sort of nobility. So one day Mare finds herself in front of the king and realizes that she has magical abilities of her own, but the thing is that she's so red. So how is that possible? So that's like the little like synopsis of what Verdict Point is about. Yeah, this is the third book, and I don't know what's happening because this is my favorite book in the series, the first time I read it, so I don't know what's going on. But I will finish this at some point, and I will post that spoiler filled vlog, so at least you have to look forward to that at some point. Now the next book is one that I am enjoying. So I'm rereading Poison Study by Maria V. Schneider. This is the first book in the series. Basically, I read this like back in 2016, but I never continued on with the series because I didn't have the rest of the books, pretty much, because I borrowed the first book from the library the first time I read it. So I really liked it the first time I read it, so I wanted to like, I got like the box set as a gift from my friend Carlini for my birthday, I think. Was it last year or the year before that? At some point. So I'm not currently rereading it. I'm in the middle of a chapter. I'm on page 136. I'm liking so far the reread. I'm excited to refresh my mind on what happened in this first book and continue on with the series. Freaking finally. Basically, if you don't know, Poison Study is about this girl named Yelena, and basically she has committed a crime and she is set to be the next person to be executed. But it just so happens that the current poison tester died, and now they are giving her, because she's the next one to be executed, she is the one that gets the choice now to either be executed or become the new poison tester for the commander, and she ends up choosing to be the poison tester. That's where we start off in this book. There is magic involved, but the thing is that in this world magic is banned, so things get tricky. Let's just say that. That's what this is about, and yeah, like I said, I'm excited to continue reading this and continuing on with the series. So that is all. Yep, that is all. That's all the books that I've read so far this year, what I'm in the middle of, and a book a day left. Let me know if you have read any of the books that I've mentioned today, what your thoughts were about them, without spoiling anything, of course. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys here next time on Yari Hearts Books.